So, class, we are now working with activity 3. We're still dealing with Cubism. And I still want to remind you that Cubism, what artists did, and please look at the video and PowerPoint that actually I have put into the classroom, in Google Classroom. We're talking about an abstract. They're images that actually have been simplified, or they've been exaggerated or completely distorted, and then they're put together. And so today we're going to take another aspect on this. Remember, on the one of them, we actually looked at the images getting kind of very geometric shapes. And then another one we kind of cut up. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to be drawing. So we're not cutting and or anything. So what we're going to be working on is putting together two perspectives. What does that mean? Still take a look at the PowerPoint, and I'm going to just kind of go very quickly. I have these images in color, and I'll show you at the end of class on what I'm talking about. And what we're looking at is images, and what I'm calling this is putting together two perspectives. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen this logo or image of Sol y Luna, and it's like two-faced, the yin and the yang, the yes and the no, the good and the bad, the day and the night type of situation. Well, this is a concept that we have seen in many cultures, and probably we, since we're here in Texas, have more seen it in the Inca sculpture pieces, and in the Gothic periods in Europe, we'll see it in a lot of the Catholic works. And so basically we're going to take these concepts and we're going to be looking, if you notice, the eyes are one from side view and one from frontal kind of things, and you're going to be able to use all the materials we've been actually talking about here. And but it also, such as in cultures in the Mayan, in the Aztecs, especially the Aztecs, where they take an animal and a human, you can also do that. So we're going to take a look at that. And what you need as supplies is basically, today we're going to probably need half a sheet and full sheets of paper. And the other thing that I'm actually proposing is, if you need to, actually, if you have a paper brown bag like this, or a paper brown gift bag, we can also work on these. And I just kind of love these, working with these. The other thing the way we're gonna start off on this activity, which is our third activity to do, is we're gonna go back into our resources. Remember, I think we've used them every single time. We're gonna come back to our resources here, and we're going to look at what we've got here with the side and the frontal and a 3/4 view. And we're going to actually you're going to make decisions based on this. Now, can you do them very realistic and naturally? Sure, but I'm looking at, for us to actually, and what did I do with them? And maybe I put them, these are all my resources. Actually, here they are. Actually, what I want us to do is actually work more on the stylized. Definitely during the Cubist period, they took away all of this kind of detail, and textures and folds. They simplified them, and then they exaggerated them if they were evil or good or bad or just looking through space, and they even distorted them in the realities. The Zentangles are also going to come in handy this time again. So I want you to keep this in mind. And for this activity, it might be helpful if you choose to actually do a couple of more. And I've kind of done this. So do you see this? If you're interested, do maybe one of eyes. And I did them with markers. And let me see if I have a black marker. And so the best way to work on this, and I'll show you right now, is if I decide, and I just put my markers back in here. You can also do them in pencil colors. this is just a little quicker for the demonstration. The pencil colors and the Crayolas, what's really wonderful is that you can actually layer the colors and they come out really quite beautiful. But with the markers, it's just like really very bold. So what I did was, see, I want to do a forward, and I don't want to get my marker dirty, especially if they're light colors like the yellow, the orange. So I'll do something like this, and I'll leave where I want the color, and I'll just kind of color it all in like this. And then I'll come over here, and let's say I'm going to do this one with a gray eye. And so I'll put the eye, and I'll just put it there. And then when I'm ready and say, okay, that's what I want, I make sure I leave a little white on there. And so then I'll come over here, and you know, now I can actually add the black to it. Do you see that? So you can always use it like that, and do the side view. I'm gonna just do this one, and I'm not gonna use let me give it I'll do a red, white, and blue kind of eye right here. So I'm gonna do a red eye, and this is still the black one. I'm gonna outline it. This is the eyelashes, and so I'm kind of, you know, outlining it here. And so do you see that? So I've actually created a sleeping eye and a side view, and so you can go through your resources and just decide what kind of an eye you want to work with, and you can actually use these. Okay, so this activity, what we're going to actually do is, and you can actually work on it on a bag, but preferably without anything. You can actually glue something on it. And my daughters used to like this, because I used to do this for their lunch bags, is that I would actually, and I'm going to just show you, see that? So I would actually do it on both sides, and then they would take their lunch bag, or we do little party things. And so you can create your own, and this is just marker, and it's a day and night. So how do we do this? Basically, you're gonna have to create a portrait. Now you have a choice whether you want human or you want half animal. It doesn't matter to me, but it's really two perspectives. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of show you how I've taken, maybe let's take a look at this one. You can go through your papers, or you can go through my notes in the classroom and take a look at, oh, you know what? Here we go again. I kind of like this one. I haven't used this. So, and then we're going to talk about the Zentangles. So I'm going to just grab a clean piece of paper. Oh, here, we can actually turn it around. What you need to be aware of, I'm sorry, moving that, is that I want this head to be nice and big. If you make it too small, really in this activity, smaller makes it more complicated. So you really need to think about the usage of the whole page here. So I'm going to move this a little bit across, and I'm going to do it very lightly with my pencil. And I don't know if you want a long face. I haven't done a long face. I'm going to just show you a couple of faces that I tend to usually use. I'm going to actually grab a couple of more pieces of paper to help me out. Here. I could actually choose, a lot of cartoons have faces like this, which is kind of like what they call a heart shape. You can do it circular if you want, or you can, in this case, I think I'm going to just do it very long and oval kind of, and I want you to make sure it's bigger than half the page. All right, and I'm just going to create this here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it kind of like if he's looking at me or not looking. It could be straightforward. On these, I've kind of, do you see how I actually did this one sideways? This one just straightforward. I tend to like it a little bit at a diagonal. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to look at what I want. I want a side view of maybe, I'm going to make this having a roundish forehead, a side of a nose, you know, right here. And then I'm going to do a side view of the lips, and that's going to be kind of like this. Remember, I think there's a lesson on how to do this. And then I'm going to just give it a chin here. This is going to be a forward. I could also do it a different side view. And I can actually have the eye here. And then I could decide on here. And then on one side, give it long hair, you know, and maybe on this side, you know, it's almost like a very cartoonish kind of thing, and give it kind of something to wear. And you got to understand that I'm just laying it out. But at one point, if I choose to, let's say I'm going to color it in, I can actually add this. Look at that. Wow, that's like really cool. And let me see, we kind of, I don't like that eye. Maybe that's I don't know. We'll do a green eye here. Well, not a green, a yellow. And just make sure when you cut it, see, I can actually do that. And then go ahead and start coloring everything in. I'm not going to give you much of a demonstration on this. I want you to flow with it. Do know that on this activity, you can use markers, you can use crayons, you can use your pencil colors, you can even use paint, those that have paint. It's like a fun activity. And what I like to do is I still want you to keep these right here. Your resources that we did in the beginning on probably one of the prep classes. But I want you to understand that, can you continue drawing them and making them? And so do you see what I've gotten here? A lot of different ones. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move you towards the computer for you to understand. And I'm sorry, I'm probably going to block it off because I have this really high. I have to kind of climb up. And let me take a look. Oh no. Okay. So I have here, right here. We're going to be looking at this, and I want you to see these, that I have these in color, and these are in your Google slide. So do you see how cool you can actually play around with this? It's almost like two parts, you know. Oops. Here's another one, day and night kind of. You can do one sleeping, one awake. This one's a little much easier, but this is kind of one that's been cut up and different ones have been drawn. And it's kind of cool, like if you draw it on the side and then just cut it all up and then put it all together. This is a fun activity. We're calling it putting it to perspective, using your drawing resources. And you're going to take two opposites if you want, or two of the same as perspectives, and that's okay. But change the colors and the design. And I want you to make sure that you fill in the paper. And if there's any gaps that you don't fill in, then make sure you look at your Zentangles and add to it. Can you do this in pencil, all pencil and pencil? Yes, but you're going to have to probably use the whole, all the value scale. Okay, guys, this is activity 3, and I want you to have fun with this one. This should be about a 2-day, maybe, activity, 2 class periods, because I want this really well done, okay?